privilege to welcome you here today as we celebrate the dedication of the Tom Hanks Center for Motion Pictures at Wright State University.
And so today, we are both humbled and honored to dedicate our new Center for Motion Pictures with the name of one of the most accomplished humanitarians and one of the most beloved actors of all time. Please join me in giving a warm Wright State welcome to Mr. Tom Hanks.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Hey, everybody. How you doing? Thank you. As an honorable human being, let me say that my wife, Rita Wilson, would be with us today in order to take part in this moment of celebration of her husband, far much more than he deserves. She will have to instead just suffer the great bout of self-loathing that's coming her way from me, because I don't know if you can any human being deserves such treasured, delightful accolades as this. Thank you so much, President Hopkins, Dean, trustees, everybody. What the heck, Michaela, bravo, bravo. Let me just say that as the guy whose name is on the wall, it was my understanding that a two-bedroom condominium was upstairs that I was going to have a key to, but evidently, can you put an Airstream trailer on the roof or something so when I come by I could just poke my head in? It is an intimidating thing to have the word Center for Motion Pictures added to the end of your name. My hope for such a place is, number one, the student body refrains from marring the outside of the building. I am a fan of guerrilla art as much as anybody else is, but go easy, folks. Blue paint is expensive, as I have been told. It's wonderful. You know, I've been at Wright State exactly one other time prior to this. In 1978, I was with the Great Lakes Shakespeare Festival out of Cleveland, Ohio. We were on a tour that was funded by the Ohio Arts Council, and we performed here on the stage at Wright State, the Two Gentlemen of Verona. Thank you very much. Thank you. And the year before that, we had performed downtown, The Taming of the Shrew at your Victory Theater. And I saw for the first time what a cool, groovy, and happening place Dayton was, mostly because you still had streetcars downtown, and I thought, this is a city on the cutting edge of tomorrow. You have my hope for anybody who walks in here with the thought of learning both the trade and the craft and the ensemble art that is making films of cinema. I hope that everybody, both in the past and the future, experiences the three key moments in any artist's life and in any professional career. They don't need to come in the same order, but to obey the laws of the narrative fallacy, let's start with the first and the worst. I hope every student that comes to the Hanks Center for Motion Pictures, I hope that student fails miserably, horrifyingly, stupendously, embarrassingly at a project that they are absolutely convinced of is a work of genius. I want every student to come in here and for one project, they pour their hearts and souls in it, they cajole, they fight, they stay up late, they edit to as long as they're allowed to, they shoot, they write, they work harder on this project than they've ever worked on a project in their life, and nobody gets it. Nobody likes it. Nobody understands what you are trying to do, and nobody wants to see anything else you ever do again. Now, that doesn't have to be the first thing you do here, but it's got to be one of the things that happens to you here. The second thing that must happen to every student that studies here is they have to come close, but no cigar. They have to work on something that requires every ounce of their imagination, every ounce of their well-being, every ounce of their intellect and instinct. They have to stay late. They've got to edit to the nth degree. They got to cajole. They have to do all that other stuff that went into that failed opportunity. And they have to do something that is just okay. And here's how you know when you've done a project, delivered the goods, and found out that it's just okay. Because everybody who sees it says this: I saw your film. It was cute. Cute, death. The third thing that has to happen to everybody that walks into this center in order to study is they've got to take a shot at something that may or may not work. They've got to pour their heart and soul in it. They've got to stay late. They've got to write it to them with the greatest passion. They have to pursue it with every ounce of their energy and intellect and instinct. And when they themselves see it, they have to think, I'm not sure this thing is any good. But when other people see it, they say, you, sir, or you, young lady, are an artist, because that is one of the best pieces of film I've ever seen. The sad thing about all the three of these beats, and let's go over them, the failure, the cute, and the brilliant, is they all require the same amount of perspiration. They all need the same amount of work and intellect and sweat and late nights, sleepless nights. They all require an effort that is equal to that of Sisyphus moving a rock up a hill, an effort that is equal to the years that went into Wilbur and Orville figuring out a way to warp the wings correctly on the Wright flyer and rise up 50, 60, 70, 100 feet above Morrow's Field. Was that what's the name of it? What? Huffman. How did I get Morrow's Field out of Huffman Prairie? My agenda has been far too scheduled today. But the truth is, all of that, the success, the failure, and the mediocre requires the same amount from you, the professional, the artist, and from the student. Now, when those three things happen, and if you're lucky, they go in that order: failure, cute, brilliance. It's painful when it starts off brilliant, goes to cute, and ends with failure. But you will receive the same exact life lesson and the same lesson about creativity. There is no guarantee other than your ability and your faith in yourself and your willingness to follow your own instincts and do the work yourself, not to rely on anybody else to communicate your idea, but to figure out the language of your idea all by yourself. When that happens, you have on your side something that is more precious than any other element when it comes down to storytelling, filmmaking, acting, editing, screenwriting, production design. You have your instincts that is as unique as your fingerprints, that is as individual as the irises in your eyeballs. No one has the combination of talent and ability and drive than you do. So it's nice to have a blue concrete building with a basement that seems to go on forever, that I understand is the only place you can survive in January and February in all of Dayton. It's nice to have this. It's nice to have the building. It's nice to have the crisp editing rooms. It's nice to have the brand new equipment. It's nice to have all of the gear that goes along with it. But that, as we all know, is not the measure of a school's greatness, and it's not the measure of the quality of the student body that Wright State is going to produce. The excellence that Wright State can offer is their choice in the people who they accept into Wright State. I could never have gotten into Wright State University. My SATs, you know what I got on my SATs? Spilled Coca-Cola. That's what I got on my SATs. My transcripts from Chabot Junior College in Hayward, California, let's just call them incomplete, shall we? When you come to Wright State, I hope you are coming to a place where everybody who has seen your transcript and everybody who has read your application and everybody who has met you in an interview has made the choice, not so much that you deserve to be here or that you belong here, but they in fact say, we want you here because you are going to make Wright State one of the greatest institutions of higher learning in the country. We need you. Now, with a name on the outside of a building, I'd like to think that I got in. Can you I'd like to think that somebody over in the admissions office said, you know, we read this kid's application, you know. The SATs are not great. And I don't think we even have his transcript. But Matt, I mean, I think we'll be better off if we bring this guy here. So let's give it a shot. I hope that's the case. Let me just conclude by saying this. The education system of the United States of America, it's the greatest in the world. It's broken, it needs repair, and it needs constant adjustment. But all by itself, it is still the greatest. It is the greatest education system in the world because there is so much of it. I know people in countries in Germany, they went to school for free, and they kind of like smoked a lot of pot. in other countries, and kind of like spent their time with. There's something about the university, the college system in the United States of America that puts the onus not on the institution, but on the student themselves. I hope that Wright State lives up, and I believe it will. I believe it already has. Let me put it that way. A land-grant university somewhere in the Big Ten. My kids have gone to Vassar, Northwestern, Loyola Marymount University, and for some reason I have a kid who is at Stanford now. I'm trying to find out who his mom's boyfriend was at the time. Because believe me, I passed on nothing that would get a kid into Stanford. Having been witness to this all, and I've seen my kids excel in all these places, and I've visited the greatest universities in the country, and I gotta say, I get it, all right, it's nice. It's no greater than anything that I've experienced before. A really smart guy said this to me about colleges and universities. He said, it doesn't matter what school you go to. What matters is how hard you work. I hope that this building spurs the students that come here, the freshmen that are here now, and the freshmen that will be here in another 20 years. I hope it spurs them to working harder than they ever have in their lives. Because if you work the hardest you ever will in your life at the beginning of your career, the rest takes care of itself. Thank you very, very much for this magnificent honor. It's a real pleasure.
Ready? 1, 2, 3.